Hey everyone, in this episode we're going to talk about the movie Tag. We're going to look at the story, the jokes, the performances by the actors, and compare it to other 2018 comedies and see where it stacks. All that and more in episode 49 of the Reel-ists Podcast. Hey Team Reel-ists, this is Oscar.
Hey guys, it's Donnie.
And we have our producer Ruben here as always.
Always, siempre.
And he always says hi. I was gonna say hello, but that was.
I think he switches it. He
switch
switches it up.
Hello. Nice. Okay, hi and hello. We're gonna make
They both work.
If someone that listens to every episode, keep count.
Right.
Make a tally.
No, in episode 37, he said,
He said hola. But yes. Thank you again for listening to this episode. If you're a returning visitor or listener, we'd appreciate it. Thank you again for tuning in. Mm-hmm. If you're a first-time visitor, welcome.
Welcome.
We hope you are going to enjoy this episode and our future episodes as well. This is just a Reel-ists podcast where we do movie reviews, but we also look at certain scenes or aspects of a film and see how it compares to real life and kind of analyze it from there. Mm-hmm. This one is a comedy movie, so there's definitely some things to talk about. Tag is going to be the movie we are going to look into. It is a spoiler discussion, so if you have not seen the movie, go watch it and then come back and listen to it. Or if you don't mind, listen to it, go watch it, and then come back and listen again. Give us 2 views, why not?
Yeah, we'll take it.
We just kind of give you the reminder, we are on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Team Reel-ists. That's Team REELISTS, no dash. Go ahead and comment on any of our posts, like any of our posts. Feel free to just interact with us. We'll be more than happy to have any conversations. And also, just remember, we are on Thursdays. So if you lost track, always keep in mind, Thursdays is our new episode day. We should get a name for that. Like Reel-ists Day. It's Reelist. We'll work on that. But yes, so that's just friendly reminder in case anyone, or if you're a first listener and you don't know what days and you just happen to tune in on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Now you know. Well, on Thursday.
There you go. All right.
I covered all the days.
Yeah.
But yes, so I think that's it. I think we're ready to go into the nitty gritty, right?
I think so.
All right, tag it is. So, as always, my first question to you, Donnie. What were your thoughts about Tag? Your overall thoughts?
I hated it. I'm just kidding.
Wow. Like, that's going to be
quite the opposite. I thought it was really fun. I was not disappointed or anything. I pretty much got what I was expecting to get going into it. I thought it was going to be a fun. I mean, obviously it was fun. It was funny. Watching a bunch of grown men, play this game of tag in kind of a way that you've never seen it before. So I liked that So in the film, we already did spoiler alert. So in the film, they say that for the whole month of May, they play this game of tag, which I thought was really cool because I wasn't sure. I mean, you don't really get that from the trailer, but
yeah, like you thought it was like a year round, like it just
it just keeps happening.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And and I thought that I had assumed that they had all lived in the same city, but they all live in completely different cities. Mm-hmm. So which makes it even more like it's kind of crazy. Like you have to you're continuing this game of tag with like your friends across all over the states, all over the U.S.
Right.
And it's like they could pop up at any moment, anywhere, which is kind of cool.
It's definitely like their version of like a family reunion or like a Comic-Con or something like where they always go every year at a specific time. It's kind of like their version of that, where May is that dedicated, I guess you want to say like friend month. So yeah, that was cool. I didn't know that was going to be a thing. I thought it was year round, and I don't know why. I thought the trailers made it feel like it was year round. Like it was just if you were it and you happen to just know where someone was going to be at, you just go tag them. I thought it was that, but yeah, that was a nice change of pace.
Yeah, but I did like it. Overall, I did like the film. I liked all the characters. Some of the antics got a little over the top, a little outlandish.
Yes,
but I'm not mad at it.
Okay. Well, in case anyone hasn't heard of this movie or is just unfamiliar with it, Tag, to give its plot line, is a small group of former classmates who organize an annual game of tag that requires some travel around the world. And as we elaborated, it usually is in the month of May. And in this specific plot, it's about getting their friend that has not been tagged in their history of being friends. He's always been the fastest, the smartest, not getting tagged. So they want to finally get him, and that's kind of like the main focus of the story. So I do want to just kind of share my overall thoughts. This movie is a funny movie, absolutely. It definitely successfully makes it a comedy in the sense that they have both slapstick comedy and they also have one-liners, funny quips that make you laugh. I know I chuckled a lot more in this one than other comedies that we've seen so far in 2018, so that's definitely good. And the story was really nice. At first I was like, okay, this is going to be kind of hard to make it seem like it can really be a movie length kind of thing. It sounded more of like it was like a nice story, but how do you make it a movie? And they managed to make it work. They managed to make us care for these characters, actually really appreciate their reason for wanting to do this kind of game. It had an emotional attachment at the end.
Yeah.
And it really did reflect on like that quality of friendship can bring in your life. So that was really nice.
That was pretty much kind of the overall kind of message there at the end was like, at first glance, it's just like, grown-ups playing a child's game, but it really was like something that like, kind of kept them all around and kind of bonded them over the years and ensured that, they stayed close and stayed connected. So like, it was good to like, I liked that message,
Yeah. And it was nice going into the plot, but it was nice to know that the story wasn't equally the same for everyone in the sense of like, it's not like at the month of May, everyone got excited. It didn't do any kind of like, cliche of like, oh, in the 1st of May, everyone's pumped up and, playing tag. It was more of just like, they're going about their business, but if it wasn't for one friend who was really into it, that gets it going. Like they're aware of it, but it's not something that they're like marked on their calendar, like,
right
in May, oh, I got to go tag someone. It's kind of more of just like, it feels like if that friend makes it happen, or naturally, like when it's ready, when it feels right, or when they find out that they're going to be in a same location or whatever their reasoning be. So that was interesting as a story element, because I really thought this was going to be one of those comedies where it's just like they're making it over the top, kind of that teen comedy, so to speak, where it's like ridiculous to the point where it's like not believable.
Right.
But I did like it with the introduction of like their friend going to tag him at work.
Hoagie.
Yes,
so Hoagie's the one who was really excited about this, and he went and first tagged Bob. His name's Bob, but they called him Callahan in the film.
Oh yeah, that's right. But yeah, that was nice. Like it set it up that it's going to that person to make it happen. It's not like they all meet up, or it's not like it's all planned.
Like they're all like did like a 5-way phone call, like, hey guys, it's gonna be May tomorrow.
This month, we're doing it in San Diego this year, or we're doing it in wherever one of them lives. So that was nice. What did you think about the friend that never got tagged as in terms of the story? Like, did you really like that element of like
in terms of Jerry?
Yeah.
I think it made sense because that then became like the mission throughout the film. Like that was like the main focus to tag Jerry. So it made sense like, plot wise, because that was like what the plot was about,
exactly,
and and how we can.
I don't know if that was a part of the true story. I don't know if that was.
Yeah, I don't know if that part was part of the true story.
But for sure the tag,
the game, yes. Was, yeah. And it was based on a true story. So I'm sure there are plenty of things that weren't like didn't really happen with the real.
A lot of how
for instance, like there wasn't just 5 guys, right?
Right.
It was like quite a few of them.
It was quite a few, like almost double digits, if not.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a team.
Yes.
Which I'm like, dang, like, how do you ensure everybody is involved in it?
Right. I don't know.
What if there's just like this one guy that he's like, nobody ever comes and tags me.
Well, yeah,
like you're just a part of it, but like you never get like
no one ever comes. Yeah, that would be interesting if that was explored.
That would suck.
I'm glad that they decided to shorten the friend list, I guess, and so to speak, because it did make it easier to
just keep track of just 5 people as opposed
compared to 9 and
or 12 or whatever it really was.
And because then we have to catch up on like what they're doing and like make us get interested in their characters. That's kind of hard to juggle.
Yeah, that would have had to been like a 2-part film, a 4-hour movie,
just about a game of tag. But no, that was a nice plot point to have that one friend that they wanted to get, because it was the reason why they decided to join up in this particular movie. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it would be the same thing of what we saw in the beginning. Like after that, it would just be like, oh, I went to go tag this person in my own time. Like it wasn't something like, oh, we all have to get together. So that was nice to the reason, and it paid off.
I mean, the fact that Jerry hadn't been tagged before, I liked. I don't really know if I cared for the inner dialogue that was being spoken as they were trying to tag him every time.
How he avoids it.
Yeah, so how he avoids every person from tagging him. Because it was every time they tried to tag him, they went to that. It was like him, speaking to himself in his head. So I was like, I don't know. It kind of came off as kind of cheesy, I guess, to me at least.
Right.
I mean, I didn't hate it, but I didn't need it.
I liked, but I mean, I liked it at first. I will say, yeah, I liked it at first because I was like, oh, okay, he's quick, quick thought or quick thinker, whatever. That he really thinks on his toes, and he's constantly thinking. Maybe like that's who he is. Like he's always just trying to be aware of his surroundings, kind of personality. Mm-hmm. So it was nice to get that insight, but I don't think they really should have used that as like, this is how he avoids them every single time. It was nice to kind of show how he managed to get away,
right?
But it shouldn't have been part of his character in this movie. Like it shouldn't have been part of the movie side of it. But yeah, no, I definitely agree.
I was just like, how I don't know.
And it pays off though. I really like that at the end he was like, I still don't feel like I'm connected because I haven't been tagged. Like you guys.
I liked. I mean, that whole thing made sense, and
because it's true. If you never tagged, and you're always avoiding them.
You're constantly, trying to run away. I mean, then Hoagie said it in the end. He was like, "You're kind of missing the point. Like, it's not about running away. It's about keeping us all together."
Yeah. Which was really nice.
It really was a touching.
I really want to see that.
Jump to the end, but I really liked the ending. It was really.
Well, I mean, it's part of the story. I mean, it's not the. It's like playing tag. It's like someone gets touched.
Right.
I really want to see that news story that came out then, because I think that was real too. Because when they were showing the end with the actual real life friends, there was an actual newspaper that they made, and I think maybe that's what generated what the movie like being made partly started. But that'd be nice to read about the real life friends and why they do it.
Yeah.
I mean, the movie
I'm sure we
touches on the themes of it, but
Yeah.
Because that's like, it's really one of those where it's like just a group of friends. It's like, hey, let's just do this, and it happens, But we always plan something as friends, like, oh, let's make a movie together, and it just never came to happen. But this was one of it's like they stuck to it. That was cool.
Yeah.
Any standout performances by the actors? Anyone that you were like, all right, I did not expect to bring a lot of laughs from you, or you definitely brought something else to the table in addition to laughs? Anything for you? I will say for me, Jeremy Renner. I really didn't think he was going to be funny.
As funny as he was, right? I
really thought he was just going to be more of like that dramatic actor coming to the table, or, he's just bringing that emotional core of like, I thought there was going to be more to him in terms of like, I don't get tagged because blah, 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 but it was really just him trying to be untaggable, whatever. Mm-hmm. So that was a nice twist. He did bring some comedy elements.
He did, and I did laugh at him. I didn't think, kind of the same thing. I've only seen him, I think, in like kind of dramatic roles.
Like Heroes or...
Yeah, so I haven't... I'm trying to I mean, I'm sure he's been in comedies, but I haven't seen him. But yeah, that was kind of a standout for me. Something I wasn't expecting. And then I also really liked Hoagie's wife, Anna.
Oh.
She was like super intense, and at first, like initially, I was like, she's not gonna be funny. Like I don't find her funny. Like initially, like the first scene, and then as the movie kept going, like I found her, at least for me, I found her being more funnier and funnier, and like so by the end of the film, I was really, really interested in her character, and I was so happy that they finally let girls play tag so that she could be in it too.
Yeah.
But she was another standout for me. I was really, like, at the very, very beginning of the film, I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this character.
She came off strong a little bit,
and I think that's what it was. Like, she came off so aggressive, which like for a second turned me off, and then after a while, like the ball got rolling, and I was totally on board, and I really liked her.
And there were times where she like would calm down, but then like her blood level would like get high again as soon as like they had a plan. So it was like, man, he picked the right game partner,
right?
Like that's
seriously,
like she belongs in game night. Both of them belong in game night because they were they definitely had that like we love playing games. And they have kids too, and then they didn't elaborate on the kids actually.
No, they didn't.
That was surprising. So maybe the kids are like, I don't want to play games because my parents are annoying. Maybe that was how they came out. I don't know. Maybe the opposite. Maybe they're aggressive too.
Maybe they're just the new generation and aren't into like
video games,
playground games. Yeah, they're all about like digital media technology.
But yeah, no, I feel like the rest of the crew, the cast, not crew, but yeah, I felt like the rest of them really had interesting characters at the very least. They weren't necessarily all funny. Like Jake Johnson's character didn't really necessarily hit with me.
Chili,
yeah.
Yeah.
I was interested in his...
He was just like a wreck. He was just like smoking weed, like high all day.
That part of the character was fine in terms of like, you know, out of the friends, like that he's the one that's going through that kind of lifestyle. And him trying to get with the girl, that was nice, but I just felt like his physical comedy jokes were not hitting for me. I don't know, maybe that's not my kind of humor.
I feel like they relied on him to do all the physical comedy. Yeah. Like he was the one that was like getting
falling off
punched and falling and getting hit and like I was the only one that was really happening to.
Yeah.
They could have dispersed that a little more evenly, I feel like.
Right?
Another thing I will say, the guy what was his name? Reggie. I thought he was funny. Like he had a lot of the one-liners and but I don't know. I feel like I didn't feel like a strong sense of chemistry between his character and the rest of the characters.
Right. He felt like he became...
It seemed a little
I don't know if that was... Place. I think that was... Maybe that was the actor's misstep in that he didn't blend well with the characters in the sense that I felt like it was an established friend. He felt more like he was a coworker that just like hung out with them.
Or like a newcomer, or like he just came on to the game or something. It didn't feel like...
Which is not true because the flashback showed he was always there. So
right. So it just didn't... I don't know. I didn't get a strong sense that...
I could see that.
His chemistry was the same as like Chili and Callahan and Hoagie and...
Yeah.
You know.
And I get that he was going through therapy, so he wasn't completely in it at this time. Maybe we just caught him at a time where he wasn't fully into it, but... Yeah, I never got a moment that he knew them well to like kind of guess what they're gonna do or where they would be kind of information. But yeah, I never got that he was a standout in one being interesting out of all the groups. He always was just like a supplement to another character. He never like had his own interesting arc in this movie. So yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I think the cast really was able to bring the jokes enough and make this story interesting enough to want to continue and see how it plays out. Mm-hmm. I will say I did lose interest in the whole can he be tagged element going through it. And then they had that big twist of like lying.
Him and his wife lied about her having a miscarriage.
Just to avoid getting tagged.
Yeah.
That was, it started to become, it's like, okay, I really don't care if he gets tagged at this point. It's like, let's wrap it. How can you make sure like we can still have interest for the rest of the movie?
And I was right along with Chili. Like when he was like, tag me and I will go over there. And if I will say, I'm really sorry if you're having a miscarriage, but if not, tag you're it. Like I was thinking that too. I'd be like, who cares? Just go like put your hand on him. And if it really is happening, then that's, whatever, game off. But if it's not, then you put your hand on him and he's tagged. Because I was like, no way. Like when that was happening, there was a part of me that was like, oh no, she's really having a miscarriage. But then I was like, if what's his name? Jerry, if he's this good and this witty and clever and cunning, then this is probably all a scam. So like I was thinking that too. So I was like, listen to Chili, like just go tag him real quick.
Yeah. It was one that when he told what was his name, the other friend, played by Jon Hamm,
Callahan,
when he told Callahan to back off, like at that point I was like, oh, he's serious, like maybe this isn't a joke. But when they like did their research and then they saw the Instagram post that kind of like led them to believe it was fake, at that point it's like, I don't even know if I want to be your friend. Like you took it to the extreme where you played an emotional card. That was tough.
And then he also took it to an extreme as to not inviting him to his wedding,
Yeah.
but not having any of them as his groomsmen at his wedding. So like, and they'd said something like, "Oh, I knew you guys would come anyway," but I'm just like, I mean, I get it. I get this game is like really dire to you guys, but like,
wouldn't you?
If that's your best friend, if these are your childhood friends, and I know he said he didn't feel that close to him, but I don't know. It just kind of.
But they still stay connected. It wasn't like, yes, he may not have like been too close, but he was aware. They did inform him of. I'm sure they outside of the month of May. They did communicate and maybe like, said hi to him during the holidays or maybe a visit during one of the holidays or stuff like that. So I feel like he was still part of the friendship.
Mm-hmm.
I can see where maybe he doesn't feel as close as everyone else because of that fact that, during the month of May, they just don't even try to tag him.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like he should still have had that awareness of, hey, these people mean something to me. I want them to be at my wedding.
Right.
Why would you be like, oh, let's have the wedding in June? Like, wouldn't that be a factor in saying, hey, maybe not the month of May because my friends like to get a little crazy and we play this game? Maybe that was a little considerate. Maybe now that we mentioned it, I don't know. I don't know what else was going on the other months. They didn't say anything was going on.
Or I'd be like, hey, how about this year we do it in June?
Right. Or like,
because I'm getting married and you guys can't ruin my wedding or something like that. But yeah.
Or an amendment, since they had so many amendments about not playing with, not being able to. What was it? I can't even remember some. I just remember the ones no girls.
Not.
There was a few though, because it was like quite like a little.
Yeah, there was a couple.
Yeah. But it was one of those where it's like, shouldn't you have talked about this with them? Like, shouldn't be like, well, one, did you guys not even know he was engaged? Like, did that ever come up? Like, did he not share that news? There was, yeah. That's definitely one with, as a friend at that point, like, if you don't want us in your life, you could have just, said something or just stopped playing with us. Been like, hey, I don't want to play. Get out of my life.
Yeah.
Because I really believed him when he's like, don't touch me, blah, blah, blah. I really was like, I understood it as like, I'm not playing right now. Like, this is not a joke. I'm not playing.
Oh, he was.
But he was playing.
He was playing them all.
Because I definitely understood, Chili's like statements of like, if this is not real, then I got you. You're tagged. You're it. If it is real, I'm sorry. Like, game's off the table at the moment, whatever. But yeah. Chili made sense at that moment.
He did. I was like, listen to him. And they didn't want to do it, but it is what it is. He ended up getting tagged in the very end.
And yeah, I mean, at the very end,
in a way, I guess.
Now that he has been tagged and that's not a thing anymore, now he's probably going to be more
involved.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes.
And tagged too.
Unless he has a kid and he's like, I don't want to get tagged, or I don't know. Tag 2? Do you?
Yeah.
Tag team. There you go. That's what the sequel would be called. So comedies of 2018. We're going to be looking at those. One that I mentioned as a comparison in terms of likes is Game Night. I thought this was better than a few of the other movies we've seen, like Blockers and I Feel Pretty,
Life of the Party.
Yeah, I feel like those had little moments that were interesting and fun, but overall I still walked away feeling like something was missing to make it a great movie. Mm-hmm. But this movie, just like Game Night, I walked away with like, that was really fun. I'm noticing a pattern here. They're games. I just realized that.
Yeah, I mean,
the theme is games. If you do a movie about games, they're probably gonna like it. Apparently,
I mean, it was one of the more funnier ones. I'm trying to think of like if I've like which one was the funniest so far. I feel like I definitely laughed a lot on this one. And the other ones, I mean, Game Night was funny too. I liked Game Night was fun. The plot was really interesting. I Feel Pretty. It was comedy, but it was also kind of like, I don't know. When I think of I Feel Pretty, I think of kind of like, I know it wasn't a drama, but I think of like dramedy. Like it was
like a like I was gonna say TV Line, but not TV Line. Hallmark or Lifetime.
Yeah, like a kind of Lifetime funny kind of. And then Overboard, it was not like I was dying laughing, but I did really, really like that one. Like that was just an enjoyable and pleasing to watch. Like it pleased my soul to watch that. But
I guess the question would be, do you rank it as a comedy for laughs, or do you rank it as a comedy for laughs with a good story? I guess that probably would be the better question in terms of like comparing to other movies. Because I mean, it's kind of hard to really be like, oh, I had the most laughs in this movie, therefore it's the better comedy.
I think it was a good comedy with a good story.
It was.
Because,
yeah,
I mean, in terms of, like, you know, like, seeing Blockers, like, that was funny, but the story wasn't that I mean, it was like a kind of another, you know, it's, you know, teenagers going to prom and wanting to have sex. Like, that's not a really interesting storyline, but it had some pretty, like, funny moments. So it's like,
yeah, it's kind of
but
more
like with, you know, but like when I think of Tag, like, Tag was funny and I really enjoyed the storyline.
Right. Exactly.
And it was different. It wasn't like your typical cliche, like, raunchy comedy or, like, you know, your cliche rom-com. It was like, it was different.
Yeah.
So I really liked it. I really did.
Yeah, I think comparing it to the other 2018 movies, I think it is going to be a mixture. Because Overboard is another one that I did like, but I wouldn't necessarily say I was laughing out loud so much. And, like, there were great comedy moments. But yeah, so it's kind of tough to really just say, like, in terms of laughter, I would say maybe, I'm trying to think of, like, what movie. Because all of them, I feel like they have a good amount of laughs. I'm not, like, all these comedies that we've talked about, they do make you laugh to some extent. How much you laugh, it varies on your you know, your humor and stuff. But yeah, not necessarily doesn't mean that it's therefore the greatest comedy of the year so far.
Yeah.
But to this one, I think it's a great combination of the humor with the story that I think stands out against the other ones.
Yeah.
Game Night being a very close second. I think to me, what took me out of Game Night was the story kind of more going into unrealistic moments in the sense of, like, this can only happen in a movie. Where
like the twists and the turns.
Yeah, with Tag, there were moments that were unrealistic. Like, every time they were trying to chase him, and it was like this big elaborate, like, escape plan that he always had.
Yeah.
And making a lot of messes. And I'm sure, like, at some point, the messes would have to be, like, a bad thing, you know, like.
Yeah, like, at some point, like, they would like suffer consequences for, like,
right, like,
some of the things
get, you
know, property damage or, like,
I'm sure the cops would have got involved in some,
yeah.
So there's that too, that where it's like, yes, that was there, but it wasn't as drastic, and it to some way I can see it being getting away with, because it was at places that they've been there before, so it's not like, you know, they went to some complete new location, made a mess, and left. It was their wedding. It was, you know, their rehearsal. It was his therapy session. Like, it was like locations that they go to often, so the people around him can be like, okay, I can see where maybe your friends are crazy, but don't come here again. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I still think this is my top comedy so far of 2018. It's definitely among some of the other ones that I enjoyed. So
yeah, I would probably say as of now, it's so far my favorite comedy of 2018.
2018.
Yeah. And I was just super, from the moment I saw the trailer, I was just super excited about it, and it was good. It didn't disappoint. I got what I wanted,
yeah, it definitely
and it gave me also that kind of, you know, like, little sympathetic, like, you know, spoke to my emotional feelings towards the end, you know.
Right.
And it left me on a good positive note.
Despite there was a sad.
There was a sad, so, like, Hoagie ended up getting cancer, or he had cancer.
Yeah, and he might not make it past.
And he might not, he didn't have much time, and that's why he was so avid about getting this game going, and, you know, and it was sad, but
it was.
And luckily they didn't, you know, kill him off on screen, and then it's like, oh, you know, Ruben was saying how he was thinking they might do, like, oh, now we remember him every year by playing the game, or something kind of corny like that.
But I did like how they still segue that with the wife now being part of the game, so therefore she carries it. It didn't end with, like, that kind of moment, but it did wink at it, like, moving forward.
Like, it kind of, like, passed the mantle, like, they kind of, so to speak. Like, now she will... You assume now she will play on behalf of him from going forward.
But it wasn't like the big, like, that was the ending with, like, we want you to continue playing for him, or we play for him now. Well, yeah,
like, it didn't need to be said. Like, we got it. We got that from you know,
from this.
You know, one thing that I didn't even think about, or I just thought about it, was the reporter who was writing for the
enjoying the game.
So I thought towards the end, they were kind of winking that him and Callahan might be, like, ending up together.
I could see it,
and nothing happened.
Oh, I thought you meant the future.
I thought the whole time.
I thought it was gonna be like she was they were gonna get to know each other more because she was following them everywhere and
very hard.
Yeah, everywhere.
If anything, that was unrealistic to follow.
She could have been a throwaway character. They didn't really need her there.
She really didn't do anything.
She didn't get even the reward of getting the article at the end, so there was no point.
It was just she just ended up playing the game for that time.
The article, I mean, I guess that was the inspiration of like that's how the article did get made to some extent. Like that's how it became aware in like the publication in the media, was because someone wrote about them. But yeah,
was it her?
I don't. Exactly.
I feel like she didn't.
She didn't really do that kind of
to like ask the questions because. For the audience, maybe it would have answered like she would have been the person to ask the questions for the audience.
Right.
But she didn't ask that much.
She really didn't do enough of like reporting. She really was more of a just a nosy person at some sense of just wanting to be.
Was just interested in it and just wanted to see
because
how
I don't know what her job was in terms of like what story she had to write, but I'm assuming if she was doing a business interview. You can't spin it off and be like, oh, well, I thought something better than business. If your area of focus is business column, how are you going to spin that into just like, oh, I found something that can go on the front page? Like, that's not I don't know. She's not the editor-in-chief. Like, that's not your position to be like, what's a great story? You're supposed to just report.
Yeah, because like, yeah.
I mean, unless she did call the editor.
Unless she got it approved. Like, hey.
Well, we didn't see that.
We didn't see none of that.
She just literally got in the car and just followed. Yeah, that was very interesting. So there were some things that, I mean, in our, themed of our podcasts, we can definitely say most likely would not happen that way. I still don't feel like the way Jerry got out of someone getting those tags would not happen in real life. I feel like a lot of it was
especially once they got to the woods and he like set up all these like traps and had like people dressed like him and like I was like, all right, we're getting a little carried away here.
That's
for the fear. Movie. I get it. It's it's a movie. It has to entertain. That was my fear
compared. I thought I was like to me I was looking at this movie compared to a lot of those kind of comedies where it's like it goes outlandish, like. But the one that just comes to mind is like Hangover, where at first it's like, oh, it sounds like an interesting plot of like, what did happen the last night because, you did get too drunk. But I would lose interest seeing that one because I'm just like, okay, this is going ridiculous. Now you're bringing animals in it. Now you're doing like these crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I can get it. It can happen maybe one night, but the fact that they did 3 is another story. So that's what I feared this one was going to be. Like it was going to take an element of the plot and just run with it so big where with like that moment in the woods where it's like I was like, okay, please don't tell me it's gonna start getting like more and more elaborate like now I'm doing completely ridiculous stuff just to avoid being tagged, such as getting a dog to chase you and bite you or something like that. So I'm happy it didn't go that too comedic, or because I guess it would be comedy in that way, but I'm glad it didn't go that path.
All right,
very very happy about that. So, with that being said, I think we're ready to do a real score. All right, Donnie, go ahead and tell us what your score is.
My score for Tag, I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. Thought it was great. It was funny. I really liked the characters, a really interesting plot. And I think it definitely set itself apart from some of the other comedies this year, which I appreciate. And I just really thought it was a really good film. It was solid. I definitely would recommend people to go see it if they want, like a fun, a fun comedy, that actually is funny. It's not, you're not, dying from laughter the whole time, but it is funny and it is engaging. But like, I mean, some of the reasons we listed, some of the comedy got a little outlandish. Some of the antics, some of the hijinks was a little overboard. And then, there was a couple, they could have done, like we said, that the reporter, she was kind of like a throwaway character because they didn't really end up utilizing her or doing anything with her in the end. And then going back to Reggie, I felt like his chemistry didn't really mesh as well with the other 4 guys. But I mean, other than that, it was a solid film and I liked it. And I would watch it again. If you haven't seen it, listeners, go see it.
Yes, absolutely. My score is going to be a little bit gentle in terms of like not being so harsh on those reasons. I agree with you absolutely though, but I'm giving it a 4.5 I was going to say 4.0. A 4 out of 5. I don't know why I said 4.0.
Okay.
I just
4
thought,
out of 5?
I just thought, yeah.
Okay.
I just thought like a GPA. All of a sudden. Like it automatically shifted to
3.9.
to a
3.97. Unweighted.
But no, yes, a 4 out of 5. I really did appreciate the theme of this movie, and I feel like that was the main reason for having this movie being made. The comedy platform was what works best to tell that kind of theme about friendship. So I definitely feel like that was something.
No, it's not, Oscar. Horror. The horror genre is the best platform to tell about friendship.
Truth or dare? I'm sorry. You're right. Truth or dare.
Hello.
How far?
Hereditary. Did you not watch? No, I'm just kidding. Had nothing to do with friendship.
But yes, no. So I felt like that was really well done. I think the cast did exceptionally well in making these characters interesting in their own ways.
Yeah.
But as you said, Reggie was one that didn't feel like he was a friend, a close friend. He felt like he was maybe a new friend or just someone that is coming along like the reporter. So there were some things that I think are like maybe could have been polished a little bit more.
Yeah.
The comedy in itself, I mean, if you're someone that loves that kind of outlandish comedy, this is perfect for you. So I personally enjoyed those jokes. I appreciated the way of how they were being creative, though, at the same time, because, you know, it would have been boring to just been like, oh, I just went to the office and now I tagged him. Like, if we saw more of how the beginning started off,
yeah,
it wouldn't have been able to carry up. Like, it had to get crazy intentionally just for us to see, like, how big, you know, this game can be, and to some extent. Not necessarily of, like, how they really played it. I think it wasn't necessarily about how they managed to not get tagged in real life, but it was just more of, like, how can we get this plot to keep going forward? And that's by trying to set them up with this big, you know, trap, and then it fires back kind of humor. So I appreciated that. I appreciated the thought. I do think that it could have been polished better. But yeah, great performances by the cast, great jokes, great story. Definitely a story that I appreciated more. I probably will look into that actual true story.
Yeah.
Just to kind of see like the more details.
Just to get more clarification
yeah,
on, like,
just,
you know,
where they do it,
yeah,
how it started. Was it more of just like, hey,
for sure,
let's
and
just
it
do
is
this?
an interesting idea, you know. I mean, it's something you don't. I mean, not a lot of people do it. There's not a lot of, you know, 40-year-olds running around still playing a tag that they've been playing their whole life.
Yeah.
With the same group of people.
Very unique.
You know,
absolutely.
so it is interesting.
So yeah, I definitely am giving it a 4 out of 5 in this movie review.
Sweet.
So hopefully viewers or listeners, I keep saying viewers. We're gonna switch.
You want to be on TV
Take
bad.
the hint, guys. We're doing YouTube soon. I'm just kidding. But no, listeners, yeah, if you definitely agree with us, let us know. If you feel like this was the worst comedy movie of 2018, let us know as well. We want to know where we're at. We want to see where you guys compare with us. And yeah, just definitely don't forget to share us on anywhere platform, any podcast platform that exists. Yep. Don't forget to share us. Let them, you know, if anyone that's like, oh, I really liked Tag, tell them, hey, I have these people that do reviews and they did a review on Tag. You should listen to it. So hopefully you guys can share the word, spread it. We'd appreciate it.
Absolutely.
But
always.
yes, definitely let us know what you thought about the film, and we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in.
See you next time.
Until next time.